Welcome to this episode of Best of America by Horseback. I'm Tom Seay.
And I'm Kristen Bisco.
People often ask, what do we do when we're not on the road and we're at home? And so today we're going to show you.
We're at Tom's working farm, Andora farm, and we're going to do some cattle drive. It's an opportunity where people can come in and bring their own horses and learn to work cattle, or if they're experienced, get to spend some time working with their horse, working on cattle.
Here in Virginia, this isn't a show-off farm, it's a working farm. We have cattle here, and we work them with horses. We use them for team pinning on Friday night, and often friends will come in and join us and help us work the cattle. What are some of the things we're going to do today?
We'll drive them up to the barn, we'll check them over, see if anyone needs to be treated, do a count on our babies. We've got several cow-calf combos out in the field. Make sure we don't have any new additions of babies that we didn't miss. Then we'll return them back out to the field and get out the team penning herd and play a little bit.
We have some people with us, wonderful people. You're going to fall in love with the people on this show. Some have never done this before. There's always a question in your mind, will my horse do this? Can I do this? And it surprises me and tickles me how at the end of the day they say, I can't believe I did this, my horse did this. And when we put them in the arena, real timer, real cattle, they do some outstanding times. Some of these people, as I said, have done this before, others haven't, but it's fun working your horse with cattle, whether you've ever done it before or not, and we do that quite often. We'll be right back on Best of America by Horseback at the home place here in Virginia. We're going to be working with cattle and horses. You'll enjoy this show. We'll be right back.
Part of this show is brought to you by Mill Creek Manufacturing, makers of the first compact and stainless steel manure spreaders. They also make spin groomer arena rakes and now a new line of outdoor power equipment like the Mighty Ox log splitters and wood chippers. All top quality, high value equipment, all made in the USA. And by Spur's Big Fix, wound, skin, and hoof treatment. The more you use it, the more you'll love it.
We know who made that hitch. We know who cut the steel, who milled the ball, and who welded the seams. We know who tested, measured, and checked. We even know who thought the whole thing up. We're B&W, and we know your hitch. Because we don't make them halfway around the world. We make them all right here. B&W. Trusted.
On this episode of Best of America by Horseback, we are at Tom Seay's farm and ranch in Virginia for the first spring cattle drive weekend with guests. When Tom is not on the road producing a television series, he likes to invite guests to his home in Culpeper, Virginia at Andora Farm for activities like cattle drives, team penning practices, cowgirl weeks, and his annual spring and now fall gathering at the farm, where guests bring their own horses and enjoy a working cattle ranch with trail riding, great meals, and time spent just relaxing and sharing a good story or two around the dinner table. Our first cattle drive of this season was on an unseasonably cool and wet weekend, but the hardy guests came prepared and did not let the weather dampen their spirits for what was, for some, their first exposure to cattle. Tom and Kristen started everyone out slowly, taking them to the cow-calf pasture first to acclimate the horses and riders to cattle that are used to being handled and checked on a daily basis.
The cow-calf combos that we have here at the farm, and moving those first, did that kind of put you and your horse both at ease, knowing that you could get as involved as you wanted to, or hang back and kind of see what's going on?
Because it was a low-stress environment, I think all the horses did a good job, or you all did a good job of handling how you introduced it to us and how you just managed it so that it wasn't stressful for anybody.
Pam had recently acquired a new horse and was quite worried about how he may react to the cattle. Tom had her ride along with him and only get as close to the cattle as she was comfortable.
I was really nervous, nervous for weeks ahead, just because I had no idea what it would be like. I didn't know how many people would be here. I didn't know how my horse would react. I didn't know how I would react. So I was really nervous, like I always am about new things.
Her horse didn't seem to mind being in the same field, and within a few short minutes, walking slowly among the herd, Pam was pushing cattle like a seasoned wrangler. Several of the riders had never worked cattle or had their horses this close to cattle, but all stayed calm and even seemed to enjoy rounding up the cows and calves and pushing them out of the pasture.
When you approached that first cow, what was going through your head? What were you thinking about?
I wanted to watch his reaction, and that would dictate everything.
Now, did he get a hang of it as the day went on?
He did.
And you think he enjoyed it?
Yeah.
As much or more than you?
Oh, I don't know. He'd have to go a long way to enjoy it more than I did.
Kath, you and your horse, this is the first time for both of you working cattle.
To do anything with cattle, yes. So Daisy and I have been together for 13 years, and we love doing things, and I knew that she would like it because it gives her something to focus on. She loves trail riding, and so she was great.
When they got the cows and calves through the gate, they headed in the wrong direction, towards the pasture which holds our team penning calves, many of which are these cows' babies from last year. Even though they are weaned, there is still a strong bond, and those cows didn't want to leave that line fence. The riders had to do some real pushing and yelling to get the cows headed away from the fence and back across the stream. A small, shallow stream runs through the middle of the farm. It is often the first obstacle for a horse and rider if they are not used to crossing water. But none of these horses seem to mind it a bit.
It's funny, the main horse part I liked was going through the water. That sounds funny, but I really enjoyed that challenge of getting him across the water, back and forth the few times we did.
The next task is to get all of the cows and calves into the arena where they will all be checked over. Some of the older calves need to be separated out for weaning. One of the ways we do this is to use the team penning pen at one end of the arena. Tom asked Pam to drive one of the larger bulls down and put him in the pen.
We're saying we're going to cut the bull out, and you said, you're
Kidding, right?
and you did it perfectly.
It was fun.
You didn't think your horse could do it, or did you do it? Well, you did it perfectly. And I think he likes it.
Well, when Tom said, now go get the bull and put him in the pen, I thought he was kidding, again, like he always does, but he wasn't. That was pretty cool. I felt very, very good about that.
Do you have a favorite part of the weekend?
It could have been penning the bull.
Yeah.
The baby calves,
Oh, yes.
that was,
Patty and Charlie in the barn.
yes, that was wonderful.
They are cute, aren't they?
They are. They're adorable. That was fun.
This is Patty. How old is she? Oh, she's about a month and a half now. She was born on the farm, and her mom was a new mama. And she didn't take to Patty, so we took her in and started bottle feeding her. She loves her neck to be scratched.
How many cute her tongue.
And she get little freckles on her nose. Isn't that cute?
Adorable.
So during the day, I'll sneak down to the barn and we'll have mommy baby time. We'll run around and dance and snuggle and get scratched on.
It's a lot of fun to get out the mom cows and babies. Technical name is cow-calf, but we get them up and check their eyes, make sure there's no pink eye, make sure there's no cow with any difficulty at all. Now that we've gotten them up and checked them, it also teaches the babies how to be herded to come in. In a moment, I'm going to announce to the group they brought in the wrong herd, and we're going to take them back out. People that have never worked with horses before and cattle find it a little difficult sometimes. Psychologically, will my horse do this? Can I do this? But getting up the mamas and the babies makes it real easy and raises your confidence very quickly. So in a moment, I'm going to say we have the wrong herd. We're going to put the gentle herd back, and we're going to go get the team penning herd, which is going to be a little more challenging. And we'll bring them in, and then after lunch, we'll start penning. You Stay tuned if you're watching Best of America by Horseback, doing the cattle drive. We'll be right back.
I'm Steve Tucker. I'm the founder and president of Tucker Trail Saddles. We listen to our customers, we leverage the experience and craftsmanship of our team, and we embrace the goal to produce the most comfortable and functional trail saddle in the world. And we believe that we are offering with the new Horizon the absolute best and most comfortable trail riding saddle available today.
I've ridden thousands of miles all over this country. The saddle I choose is a Tucker saddle.
Welcome back to Best of America by Horseback. We are at Tom's Cattle Farm in Virginia on the first spring cattle drive with guests. Most of the guests and their horses on this drive had not had exposure working with cattle. Tom and Kristen started them off slowly, working in the cow-calf pasture, pushing cattle that are checked and handled on a daily basis. It was a good introduction to the cattle in a calm environment.
So you and your horse have never worked cattle before.
Right.
Coming to Andora Farm and the cattle drive, the way we set it up, was that helpful to you and your horse?
Going out to just move cows and bring them up and cross the creek and put them in the arena and just move them around a little bit, that was a really good introduction to what it was going to be. And then doing it again, that was really good at building on it.
After putting them back out into their pasture, the group headed out to bring in the team pinning calves. These calves are not quite as easy, with many trying to escape the roundup by going down into the water or up the steep banks on the other side.
Of this weekend, the most exciting thing for you was?
The field cattle herding, because it was something I've been wanting to do.
When you went into the field, what were you thinking? What did you see? What did you expect? Were you nervous?
I was excited. I wasn't nervous. I figured my horse would be a little nervous just because he's a born chicken. I knew, because this was only a second time with the cattle, that he was going to need to look at them again, but I also knew that because he'd already seen them, he would get over it quickly.
Driving the cattle and just a new experience with your horse, it just makes a new dimension to happiness. What were your expectations? Were you worried about it at all?
I was curious to see what his reaction would be. He's a thinker type of horse, so a lot of times you have to present things to him and then the next day everything's good. But I was curious what his reaction would be with cows. He'd never been around them before that I know of, and he did quite well.
With patience and persistence, they were able to get them all headed to the barn.
You had been in a terrible horse-related accident.
Yeah, I broke everything. I landed on a fence, and I had operations on my back, operations on my arm. I broke everything.
Was there a time that you were thinking, I'll never be able to ride again?
You know, no. Riding is my life. My son is a doctor, and when my son came into the hospital, he looked at my doctor and he said, "Tell my mother she can't ride anymore." And the doctor said, "I can't do that. My wife rides. All I can say is, be careful."
So was it hard getting back on the horse after an accident?
Yes, it was scary. It was scary because I don't want to get hurt. I mean, it has nothing to do with not enjoying it. It has to do with being cautious because I don't want to get hurt. Hurting hurts.
So questions in people's minds watching, is this a safe sport to do, cattle driving?
Oh yes, I didn't feel threatened at all. And she was being very bad. And I felt very safe. I didn't feel like I'd get hurt or anything. It was fun, it was enjoyable, and I liked it.
Once in the arena, we wanted to number a few of the calves like we do every Friday night at our team pinning practices at the farm. The girls were all in for helping Kristen number them.
And you glue a number and you stick it on.
I really liked putting the numbers on the cows. That was very fun.
Just be careful.
The whole object is to put 3 cows into that pen Out on the range, there's not a lot of fences, so they'd set up panels, get a cow in to treat it or to tag it or to brand it, and that's how pinning started. I'm going to call a number in a few moments, and there'll be 3 of those cows of the number I call. The object is to get all 3 of those cows into that pen. Once you decide who's going to go first, they cut out the first calf and run it down. The second person goes in. First person is coming back to help hold the herd, and then as you get all 3 down, somebody blocks what we call the hole. That's the other side of the fence. Somebody is in kind of in the middle, keep the cows from coming back, and then somebody's sweeping them around the end. It's very easy to do. You have 75 seconds.
Since 1926, the Dude Ranchers Association has represented over 95 ranches west of the Mississippi, assuring their guests enjoy the industry's highest standards. We are all about adventure vacations, from hiking and fly fishing to the thrill of a whitewater rafting adventure. Experience a true Western vacation and the cowboy way of life from the back of a horse, working cattle and riding through some of the West's most spectacular landscapes. There's a little cowboy in all of us. Come find yours today.
If you are interested in learning more about Best of America by Horseback, visit our website at bestofamericabyhorseback.com. There you can view our show schedule on RFD TV, learn how to join us for upcoming rides and events, benefits of our trail club and how to join, find riding locations and dude ranches by state, shop the online store for Best of America by Horseback logo gear, read our monthly newsletter to stay up to date, and learn about our sponsors and their quality products. It's all here at bestofamericabyhorseback.com.
Welcome back to Best of America by Horseback. We are at Tom's Cattle Farm in Virginia on the first spring cattle drive with guests. A good way to get horses used to working cattle is to have them cut them out of a herd and put them in a pen at the other end of the arena. It takes a team effort to do this, as individual cattle do not want to leave the safety of the herd. Team penning is a popular sport that sharpens the skills of riders and horses and teamwork.
Push them both. Push them hard. Push them hard. Push them hard. Watch the sweep. Watch the sweep. There they go. There they go. They're in at 35 seconds. You just pinned 2 cows in 35 seconds. Is this the first time you've tried this?
Yes, it's outstanding.
People that professionally team pin are eating their heart out right now. How'd you do it? Was it a plan?
Lucky cows and a wonderful horse.
How's your horse adapting to this?
She loves it. She's a Tennessee Walker and she's loving it.
I had heard about team penning and I hadn't looked at very much of it, so I watched a little YouTube video. I knew it would be taking cows and moving them somewhere, but I got a little bit of an impression just before we came down here, and so I didn't really know what to expect, and it was, after watching it just for a bit, it was more fun than I even thought it would be.
Was there one particular highlight of this event that you liked, you enjoyed the most?
Probably the team penning, and to see his reaction, and there was no fuss on his part, like he'd been doing it forever. It's like, okay, let's go. We're just going to keep going. We had a good time with it.
It's always hard to get you to make a comment, but I got to ask you, how's it going so far?
I love it. I have ridden all my life, and I've done all kinds of riding, but I've never done this, and this is hysterical. It is the best. If you've never done it, it's really worth doing.
Do you have a favorite part of the weekend?
Like I said before, I really enjoyed the dinners, the meals, sitting around, just talking and hearing stories.
Like she said, I enjoyed the ambiance of sitting around the table and talking with everyone.
I think you'll have to edit that, right?
We'll edit that part out. Okay, you go back and take over now. I've screwed that up.
Apparently you can't interview anymore. Now that the weekend's over, what is going through your mind as you're thinking about what happened today?
I feel like this is where I'm supposed to be in life. This is what I want to do. This is my inner me, and I just don't have that in Maryland. I don't have that life. But if I could do this every day, I would love it.
And it would far surpassed all my expectations. It was really fun with the cows. The farm is beautiful, and you and Tom and the whole crew was just so friendly and wonderful and made us feel like part of the family. So I don't know how you could do any better or do anything that would be more fun, except for having a week instead of just a weekend.
I would suggest come here to Andora Farm for the cattle drive, absolutely. I know that sounds like a commercial, but it's a wonderful, wonderful way. I don't know what I was so nervous about. Everything was absolutely wonderful, very comfortable. You led us up to things easily. Everything was safe. Tom was really concerned about my apprehension, about my safety, and I really appreciate that. And it was a lot of fun, and I feel kind of accomplished.
When you come to Virginia, we'll take care of you and show you some Southern hospitality.
Bring your horse and join us for a cattle drive at Tom's Farm in Virginia. Full country-style meals, stalls, and RV electric hookups are all included. Enjoy a new experience working cattle with your horse, even if you've never done it before. Call us at 540-829-9555 for more information or to make a reservation. Or you can log on to our website, bestofamericabyhorseback.com. Click on the Rides and Events tab to see all of our upcoming cattle drive dates. The date for this year's annual gathering at the farm in May, and other upcoming rides where you can join us around the country. Come ride with us.
Please join us on an upcoming episode of Best of America by Horseback. Ride with us, be part of the show. We'd love to have you with us. I'm Tom Seay with Kristen Disco. Thank you for watching.